Hey guys, Joel's coming at you with another reasoning session. Today we're going to talk about the woman of Revelation 12.
Come now and let us reason together. Come now, we can talk it over.
Now, Revelation is a book that, a lot of people get into. There's a lot of symbolism, and it can be confusing to some. Some of the symbolism actually is quite daunting because of how intense it is. But I want to share something that's actually is occurring currently right now, and it parallels completely to Revelation 12. Now, I'm not saying that this is the final end result of Revelation 12, because ultimately what's written in this book, and particularly in the book of Revelation, is a fractal. So it's like looking down a tube that's like a spiral, and the closer you get to the end of that barrel, the closer and more intense these very same images actually manifest into the world. But starting off, it says right in the 3rd verse, "Blessed is he that reads, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." Now, 2,000 years is not short, right? But the whole process of this book is continually unfolding, and because of that, we can see parallels. People have seen parallels and said it's the apocalypse, it's the end times, but those are just shadows of this very same story. So I want to share the story that's in Revelation 12 and how that actually played out just now in our time. So I'm just going to read the first 9 verses of Revelation 12, and then I'm going to explain what the parallel is. "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days, or 1,260 days. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." Now, this symbolism actually played out in our world in the last couple years. Like 1,260 days is 3.5 years. And if we go back 3.5 years, we actually see that in September of 2017, we see this very woman. And of course, the sun and the moon and the stars, that's a reference to astrology. So what's the woman in astrology? It's Virgo. And in September of that year, when the moon was at her feet, she had 12 stars at her head. Those 12 stars were the 9 stars of Leo, plus Mercury, Venus, and Mars. But the amazing thing was that she was pregnant with a man-child, and this man-child was Jupiter. And of course, Jupiter represents several things, but Jupiter in tradition represents Christianity and the Christian church. Well, that's funny. What is the woman? The woman, if you use the Bible to interpret the Bible, you actually see that 12 stars and the moon and the sun, that's paralleled in Joseph's dream when he sees the moon and the sun and 11 stars, symbolizing the other 11 tribes, coming and making obeisance to him, bowing down to him. But this man-child, or Jupiter, was actually birthed from Virgo, like literally left her belly area on the 23rd of September in 2017. Now, the book mentions another very interesting mystery, but maybe it's not such a mystery now. It says, "And behold, a great red dragon." Red dragon? Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. That's talking about the leaders and the rulers and the powers that rule this entity that's a red dragon. What nation is symbolized by a red dragon? Need I say more? But it goes on to say that, you know, there was war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven, and the great dragon was cast out. Now, since the end of last year, there's been an incredible increase in volcanic activity all around the world. It seems like every single volcano in the world has just become active. But one of these volcanoes, it was very interesting that a huge meteor was seen coming crashing down in January 4th. Let's have a look. And if we move forward just 2 months, we actually come to the culmination of that 1,260 days from September 23rd, 2017. And that, my friends, is what this is all about. That is the point of this video, because at that time, it was like a veil was lifted, and this man-child that was kept in secret, it actually began that time. People earnestly started to seek source. And that's what began in September of 2017. But that whole movement was kept underground, it was kept secret, and it was brewing under the surface for such a time that it can actually be birthed into the world. And this happened, actually, the specific date is March 6th, 2021. And this is when literally revival has started. People are waking up, they're tapping into source, source is tapping into them, and we're entering into a new way of doing things. It literally is a new era, and we're going to see source enter into our physical reality, and people are going to start doing things and creating things and manifesting things like never before. But it's only those people that have taken the time to tap into source. And what's coming, guys, has not even been precedented, even in these crazy mass moves of whatever you call it. Like Azusa Street is nothing compared to what's coming, guys. We are going to see the glory of source enter this world like never before. So be on the leading edge, be prepared, and tap in while you still can, because once this wave crashes, it's going to wipe everything that we thought was reality away. We are going to enter a new way of doing things, and like Jesus said, greater works than these shall you do. He did some pretty amazing things according to the book, but what's coming is on a level that's astronomically better. So tap into source, do your part, and really manifest your best life yet, our best life yet, in the world we know we've come here to experience. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next reasoning sesh. Joel signing out once again. Agape, Salaam, Namaste.